Thank you very much, Elisha Caleb again. As I said in the introductory part, I'm running for the position of the special interests of the special interest groups in the Commonwealth Youth Council. Marginalized young adults in the Commonwealth countries, such as those living in poverty, disabled, indigenous youths, sexually harassed, refugees, drug abusers, those aging out of foster care, those in injustice systems, those with disabilities, and young parents, and many more underrepresented and excluded youths in the vulnerable situations, are much less likely than any other youth or adult to experience a successful transition to adulthood. Although many of these young people ultimately fare very well as adults, and their hopes and aspirations are similar to those of young people who have not been marginalized. Meeting the needs of marginalized young adults not only will improve their lives, but also has the potential to help them become fully contributing to member countries, more so this of the Commonwealth. Having said that, as the representative of the special interest groups, my main focus will be to campaign for their rights and tabling their views for better solutions, for I believe they must be treated equally like any other youth. Once in the position, I will develop an action plan and implement a Commonwealth Youth Council outreach to special groups. I will influence the larger context, such as political, religious, and socio-economic parties in which they have a line and secure the community support and funding. I will encourage active inclusion of marginalized youths as social agents of change in the Commonwealth countries. Also, I will engage in communities, theaters, the arts, and interactive radio broadcastings to raise awareness, empowering marginalized and voiceless and voice and provide a platform for dialogue for these marginalized youths. And since most of these vulnerable populations are not able to satisfy at least the primary needs such as food, with my leadership and support of the CYC, I will provide services including healthcare, education, community services with the help of funding agencies and the Commonwealth Youth Forum at large. With my strong network in both regional and the Commonwealth countries, I'll have the country's representatives and leadership at large to update the information and immediately and provide services and support required of them as soon as possible to the groups. So especially as a young leader with rigid experience in leadership and as a humanitarian, I believe that I am strong, skilled, and experienced enough to be the representative of the special interest of these young men and women. Change has come to the representation of the special interest groups in the Commonwealth Youth Council. It is my answer that leads those who have been told for so long by so many to be cynical and fearful and doubtful of what I believe or what I achieve, to put their hands on the arc of history and bend it once more toward the hope of better days. It's been long time coming, but tonight, because of what will be done on the voting day, at the very divining moment, change has come to the youth leadership. That's why this campaign can't only be about me. It must be about us all. It must be about what we can do together. This campaign must be the orchestra, the vehicle of your hope and your dreams. It will take your time, your energy, and your advice to push me forward when I'm doing the right and to let me know what I am not. This campaign has to be about reclaiming the meaning of your representation, restoring out the sense of common purpose and equal division of the cake. By ourselves, this change will not happen. Divided we are bound to fail. But the life of the tall, gangly, self-made Springfield lawyer, Abraham Lincoln, tells us that a different future is possible. He tells us that there is power in words. He tells us that there is power in conviction, that beneath all differences of faith and religion, faith and stations, we are one people. He tells us that there is power in hope, and here I come as the hope for the excluded, hope for the underrepresented groups, hope for the affiliated observers, and hope for the youth networks which are marginalized. As Lincoln organized the forces arrayed against slavery, he was heard to say of strange disconduct and even hostile elements. We gathered from the four winds and formed and fought to the battle enough. That's my purpose here today. That's why I am in this race. Not just to hold an office, but to be the liaison between the thematic networks, affiliated youths, and the executive. I want to win the battle for justice and opportunity. I want to win the next battle for fair schooling and better jobs and better health care for all. I want us to take up the unfinished business of developing and implementing actions engaging special groups in the council. And if you will join me in this improbable quest, if you feel destiny calling and see as I see a future of endless possibilities stretching before us, if you sense as I sense that time is you and work with you together starting today, let us finish the work that needs to be done and usher in a new birth of freedom on the Commonwealth nations as far as the youth and the representation is concerned. Thank you very much and be blessed.